All right, let's move on to the part of the show where we look like either geniuses or we have no idea what we're talking about, and that is prediction time. So before we get into telling you all what our scores were, no one guessed the exact score last week. We've done this before on Facebook, and last year we even did it on Twitter, now called X. This year we're doing it on YouTube and Rumble. Comment section. Put your score prediction in the comment section. If you win, I'll contact you and we'll get you a free t-shirt from the OHIO podcast, okay? So put your score prediction down in the comment section below on our YouTube page or our Rumble page with this video. Before we predict our scores, Chris, what are the keys to the game for you for Ohio State? We know they're going to win. I mean, this would be a bigger upset than Appalachian State beating that team up north if they were to come into the shoe and knock off Ohio State. So let's be realistic here. What are you looking for? What are your keys to this game?
Well, for me, first of all, we've got to see really darn near perfect offensive line play given who they're playing against. Um, Last week, the offensive line didn't give up any sacks, but there were some run plays, especially where guys got into the backfield and it just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Too many lookout blocks, too many, you know, just too many basic mistakes there. The other thing is, I need to see if Kyle McCord can be consistent. Um, Towards the end of the game, he started to clean things up a little bit, but there was a lack of consistency. And you know what? I go back to what Ryan Day said before he even started this quarterback competition, and that was the guy who's going to win the job is the guy who can do the routine things routinely. We haven't seen McCord necessarily. He's done the routine things, just not routinely.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So I think we need to see that consistency. Um, Other than that, I just want to see them. They did a good job of having a balanced offensive attack last week as far as the number of plays. I want to continue to see that because I think our running back room is too good to not get these guys touches. Defensively, I just want to see them keep progressing and for the defensive line to get that pressure and get home to the quarterback.
hmm you brought up the offensive line, which didn't play well, especially on the left side. Josh Simmons, his first game at left tackle, very first start he had at left tackle. Let's keep that in mind. I thought Donovan Jackson, for being a preseason All American guard, did not have a good game. He did not grade out as champion. In fact, the only offensive lineman that graded out as champion was right tackle Josh Fryer.
Interesting.
Yeah, which
He's
why
comfortable again.
Why did they even put him at left tackle to begin with? Because he obviously is successful there. The right side of the line, and you go back, you watch the film. The right side of the line played much better than the left side of the line. Josh had a lot to do with that. I didn't watch Matthew Jones much. I heard he didn't have a very good game. Um, Carson Hinsman's very first start ever at center, there was a lot of shaky offensive line play because you had guys doing things they'd never done before. And as Aaron pointed out to us Sunday night, it takes time to gel on the offensive line, which is why it is critical that they remain healthy over the course of the next couple games. Work some things out, work on their communication, begin to understand what the guy next to you is going to do on certain plays. And I don't think we're going to see a team until maybe Notre Dame that is going to present a defensive look like Indiana does. Now, Notre Dame's got better athletes than the Hoosiers. We understand that. But let's give credit where credit is due. Indiana has traditionally, and they did again this past weekend, present Ohio State with defensive looks that they have not prepared for. They've not seen before. And when those live bullets are flying, and you've got new guys in new positions who've never experienced those things. That's what the coaches want. They want you to put that stuff on film because now it offers them teaching ability to say, here's what you did, here's what you did wrong, here's what we need to work on to improve that, which is why Woody Hayes said the greatest improvements from week 1 to week 2.
So,
Got it
Eric,
on film now.
quick question for you. Let's say we got a blowout going.
Yeah.
How long do you leave the starting offensive line in there? Where is the balance between getting that time to gel versus that desire to
If
stay
if
healthy?
it truly is a blowout, probably the first series after halftime. That way you get that coming back off of halftime, get back into a rhythm, finish strong with another touchdown drive, get them off the field. Aaron, you cringed a little bit. What's your thoughts?
What are we calling a blowout?
Let's say let's
35
say we're
nothing.
let's say we're at 35-0 at the half.
If Ohio State has 5 possessions in the first half and they score 5 touchdowns, come on.
Second game of the season. I'd probably keep them in until about the start of the fourth quarter. I'd make them
Okay.
That's
play
what I was
three
thinking.
three
Three, three
full
quarters.
quarters, maybe even a series into the fourth, because they need that time. Their consistency right now, like last year's line, 100% on board with you, Eric. That would have been yes, okay, but this offensive line, they need the work, and they're clearly not getting it at practice because if they are, it did not translate to game.
It was okay. Can I be I'm just going to be dead honest with you guys. This has
Yeah,
turned into offensive line talk here on the previous show. They looked better than they did when I saw them at the spring game
Yes.
and when I saw them at the practice. Okay.
that's
I
good.
know I know that you're like, holy hell, how bad were they? Um
Less than 2 seconds bad,
really,
Eric.
really bad, Aaron. Like DEFCON 5 here. Like red, we're on red. The missiles are flying our way.
Yeah,
Say your prayers. Go be with your loved ones. It's not going to be good. Like this is the end here. And so I was, even though there was some serious mistakes, I came away going, okay, we can actually do this. Okay, here's where I think Ohio State fans are at with this. They know the knowledgeable fans
yeah,
know how good the offensive line play has been for our rivals.
Yes.
They know how good they are up there. And we know we have some serious work to do to even get close to that. And how have they beat us? They have beat us by being more physical and more tough than us.
100%.
That's
Well,
not going that's not going to change this year. Like
and Eric,
they are the same team and we aren't there, Chris. We're not there.
no, I agree. And you have to remember, not only do they have that just dominant offensive line, possibly, the best offensive line in the nation again, but then you've got your defensive line practicing against that line. How much
Mhm.
better, and Aaron might be able to, as a coach, speak on this, how much better is that defensive line getting because they're practicing against an offensive line of that caliber? I mean, they really, on both ends, both sides of the football, their lines have been
Well,
amazing.
I'll tell you this much. Michigan's defensive line over the last 2 times we've played them at the end of the year been better than ours.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah,
ain't hurting. It's not
I
hurting
mean,
them.
I want you guys to think about this too. Okay, in 2014, we had the same questions. The line that had was it Jack Muhort, Taylor Decker, that class of linemen. We got beat by Virginia Tech. Everybody said, "Oh, they're soft. We're going to lose more games. We're in trouble." JT Barrett was what, a freshman or a redshirt freshman,
Redshirt
and
freshman.
Cardale Jones was still wondering how he got to school. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? I'm not I'm not freaking out about this right now. Okay, that's why I said we leave them in the games a little bit longer against teams like Youngstown State, like Western Kentucky. Give them that time to gel in a game atmosphere, and let's see how it goes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let them get that game practice, that competitive practice in a game. Because
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you have a great point. That was a fantastic question. Is this hurting our defensive line to practice against this soft offensive line as we perceive them right now? Or is it making the offensive line better to practice against this defensive line? I'm going to be honest with you, and this is going to hurt some feelings. I'm not sold on Jack Sawyer. I'm not. He's not
Don't see it
Chase Young,
consistently.
and he is.
I can't be either.
At this point, I'm almost saying Caden Curry needs some more snaps.
I would agree.
I
Jack
agree.
Sawyer he's this generation's
Zach
Zach
Harrison.
Harrison.
yeah. He's just not the guy right now. Right now. Okay.
I
He
thought
has some flashes.
I thought JT Tuamulau played well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agreed.
he had what, 4 tackles, a half
Yeah,
tackle for loss.
he was dominating his side of the ball, but I agree with you, Aaron. Where was Jack at? We'll see. We'll see what this week looks like against obviously some competition that you should dominate. If you don't dominate this week,
There's a problem.
there's an issue. We asked the question. We asked the question this whole offseason, Chris. Was the offensive line just that bad, or was the defensive line just that good?
I'm starting to think it was neither. Or both.
Let's see what the next couple weeks brings us. I mean, right now you're studying for your big exam, and that exam comes in South Bend, Indiana, because that's going to tell us everything we need to know about this football team for the remainder of the season in that game. Do they have heart? Do they have grit? Are they going to go in there and not be intimidated? All those questions are going to get answered. Have we made the necessary improvements to be a contender against the better teams in this conference and a chance to get back to the CFP? All of that's going to be answered in week number 4. So if you don't get pressure on their quarterback, he is going to pick us apart, regardless of how much our defensive backs have improved. He is extremely good. You have to make him uncomfortable. You have to hit him.
You
And
can't give any quarterback 5 or 6 seconds. You just
no,
No,
you
absolutely
can't.
not.
You can't. So that's what we're looking for. I'm watching the defensive line with a magnifying glass this week. How fast are you getting? And here's the other thing. How many moves do you have? Do you just have one move?
Let me bring this up too real quick. At halftime, Ryan Day said that he was happy with how the lines were firing off the ball. I don't know what game
Well,
he was watching.
I think he was shocked that they were running the option. I really think that this kind of caught the coaches off guard, and it changed the whole dynamic of the defensive line. I also think he had some serious question marks about this offensive line, Aaron. Like this offensive line in practice, I thought we are going to win 9 games. We are at 8-14
We
in
still
that
might
practice.
be. We still
And
might be.
and I think what we saw against Indiana was like, oh, they have a pulse. They're not dead on arrival. It's not DOA here, okay? Like they have a pulse.
other
They
than the
can
core, who has
improve.
no emotion whatsoever.
Let me throw this one at you guys too. If we lose to Notre Dame, Woody Hayes' quote is relevant and valid. But in 2014, we kind of disproved it a little bit because Virginia Tech was not the first game.
Right.
We took our bumps right there, and we came back, and every week we got better and better and better. Do you think that is possible this season if we lose to Notre Dame?
2 things tell me no.
What's that?
Number 1, this is not the same coaching staff. As much as Urban Meyer might be dumpster juice as a person, he is a motivator to the nth degree.
Well, he's probably going to beat them up if they
kick them. Some of it might be motivation out of fear, but isn't that real? That's a real thing, man.
It is. Fear is a powerful motivator.
It is, and that calls into question Day's philosophy of, being. It's such a fine line. Go ahead, though.
Number two, We had the best running back in college football, and we gave him the dang ball. And the offensive line had some serious grit that we didn't know they had.
We
I
didn't know.
don't I
We
don't know that we've got those things in this
we
team.
didn't. Yeah, but we did at the time. We didn't know Zeke was as good as he was. Nobody really
No
thought
one
that
knew.
he
No
was
one
that
knew.
great until he shredded Michigan and then Wisconsin and then went on the playoff run.
I, is it Chip?
Is it Travion? Is it Mayan? I don't know. I feel like Chip has it in him. Chip got that dog in him. All
All
right.
I know
Well,
is Aaron is scaring the ever living hell out of me, Eric, because I'm worried that we're going to have to get Lincoln Kleinholtz ready to go. He keeps referring to 2014.
right, third string quarterback. Um, so I don't know what this is all about, but apparently Chip during the game Saturday was feeling pretty confident and said something about put me in the dang game, and I cleaned that up,
Yeah.
and they did, and he responded.
Somebody got
Um,
to him.
Well, you know what? He wants it.
so
He
you
wants it.
said you said it, Aaron. He's got some of that dog in him. This offense needs a voice. It needs a voice. I thought maybe it was going to be Emeka Egbuka. I thought maybe Marvin Harrison. Maybe it's Chip. Maybe Chip is that guy who has a giant chip on his shoulder and is like, give me the dang ball.
Yeah.
I'll get you your yards.
Yeah.
I'll make that block.
See, I feel like that 2014 team was full of guys like Chip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I hate to say this because I know we talk a lot about comparisons and things like that because in sports, that's kind of what we do. But Egbuka's soft. Fleming is soft. All right. These guys are not tough.
You see that in
They're
their
not.
blocking,
They're
Aaron.
not. They're not Garrett Wilson. They're not Chris Olave. They're not Mike Thomas. They're softer than
I
Benny
don't know
Crabbe.
that I can agree with you that they're soft.
After what I saw from the blocking last week, weak. And I don't know, and this is what I kind of wanted to touch on, and I don't mean to crap on these guys. I 100% support them. I don't mean to talk down on them, okay? So I'll take
Mm-hmm.
a step back. I don't mean to like insult them because that's not where I want to go with this. But they need to be more aggressive in their play. I will say that, okay? Mike Thomas, Devin Smith,
Oh,
Evan Spencer, those guys would go and put a freaking hat on somebody. These
yeah.
guys don't do that.
Okay.
And I
So
don't
this,
know. Well, hang on. I don't know if that's Ryan Day's mental health support philosophy, wherever let's meet them where they're at. Whereas Coach, Urban Meyer would be like, "Hey,
well,
you want to win championships? You need to get here."
there's an obvious answer to this, guys. It's a difference in offensive philosophy.
Yeah, and we talked about
Okay.
that on Sunday.
Urban Meyer's offense was read option. You had to block. And the expectation in that wide receiver room was I don't care how good of a wide receiver you are. If you don't block, you don't sustain blocks. If you're not tough at blocking, you're not going to play because our offense is a read option first.
Yeah. And what I saw in the blocking from the wide receivers was garbage,
It's
But
because
they're not being asked to do it.
they're not asked to do it as much.
which is a
They're asked to
freaking
get
problem.
downfield and catch passes.
Well,
Right.
okay, even if you're not going to block, at least run them off. That's another way to get it done. But they're
Right.
not
Well, I don't
doing that either.
disagree. Yeah.
They're not doing that either. So I don't know. I feel like I'm really crapping on them, and that's not where I wanted to go with this. Okay, so first
Yeah.
and foremost, I apologize. That's not what I like to do. I try
Well,
to
he's
keep
more
it.
negative than I usually am, Eric. I mean, he's
I just try to keep it constructive, okay? Because we're all passionate here, and so I'll step it back. And I apologize. I didn't mean to crap on the
We're
players. That's not
we're
my thing.
not we're not saying anything that fans with two eyeballs who watch the same game we are don't recognize.
Yeah,
If they watch the game from the perspective of the X's and O's and what it takes to win a football game. If you're just watching it as a fan, you're coming away with we won 23-3. What's the big deal? Well, we're seeing the major discrepancies and holes in our game that's going to cause us to lose. And I was talking with my dad today, and he said, "Did you watch the Maryland game?" I said, "No." I go, "They played Townsend, okay, the equivalent of Youngstown State for them." But he said, "I have a great fear that this team will lose to any good team with a good quarterback because the offense won't be able to keep up with
Defense gets tired.
the defense is going to be out there on the field a lot, and if you have a good quarterback who can just make plays, and right now we don't have that, and Maryland does, Penn State does. I still don't know if the team up north has got a playmaking quarterback. We'll see about JJ. Okay, he did against Ohio State last year, but a lot of that was just total BS,
That was bad defense. Is
bad
actually what he got
Yeah,
off
defense.
on.
I say
Okay,
we made him look good.
Notre Dame's got one, so there's at least 3.5. We'll call JJ a half, right? Uh, I watched that Purdue quarterback almost will that team to a victory.
Mm-hmm.
They played awful defense. He almost willed them to the victory. Illinois' got a quarterback now. I know we don't play them, but again, Illinois 0-1 and got beat by Toledo if he literally doesn't make an unbelievable fourth down pass, okay, in that game. Like there are quarterbacks. Wisconsin's got one
Now it
now,
looked good.
and a running back. Okay, Wisconsin is dangerous, guys. I'm
Yep.
telling you right now, if McCord doesn't step his game up and this offense doesn't come alive, the pressure on this defense is just it's going to be immense. Now they're good, but Tressel ball in this generation, and Tressel even admitted on the 10 May podcast, football is very different today than when he coached.
They
Very,
didn't
very
they
different.
It's a
didn't do
track
hurry
meet.
up. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
do hurry up offenses in 2002. That wasn't a thing yet.
All right, let's get to our prediction. Man, we made this segment go a lot longer than it was supposed to, but we're passionate Buckeye fans, guys.
Yes.
All right, Aaron's prediction. He says 38-0 against Youngstown State. Chris said 45-0. I gave him a field goal. I said 45 to
I believe I was
3.
42-0, Eric.
42-0?
Yeah.
You might want to double check that. Pretty sure you were 45-0, but I can change that for you if you want me to, Chris. Not a problem. If you're making that 42-0, we can do that. So how did you come up with your score and why, Aaron?
I think that it's I think the offense still has some work to do. I think they're going to get it together in this game at some point. Maybe it's the second quarter, maybe it's the top of the third, right after halftime. But I think that's they're going to score the bulk of their points in the second and third quarters. So I think between trying to work it out, slow start, even though it's Youngstown State, it's not something Youngstown State's doing. It's on us to get that ball rolling. And I think it's just going to take some time. Again, O-line needs to gel. We need to get that stuff together. But that's kind of where I came away with that. I think we'll get a field goal and 5 touchdowns.
Chris, 42-0. How'd you come up with your score?
Well, the simple way would be to say, I saw what other teams did against FCS competition, and I took that and divided it in half based on our offensive struggles last week. But that's not actually it. I feel kind of like Aaron said. I think we're going to start to get things together a little bit. I do think that we actually are going to come out and score touchdowns this week. I think you'd have to. I feel like the offense has to get rolling. I feel like McCord and Harrison have to get back on the same page. Um, and I just feel like they're going to come out. They've got something to prove. And honestly, I think I would like to tell you that this is McCord's last shot if he doesn't come out and do a fantastic job. But I almost feel if he doesn't pull him by halftime in this game and get Devin Brown some snaps, there's no way we're seeing Devin Brown this year because you're not going to start him 1 week before Notre Dame and then
No,
start him versus Notre Dame. You're just not.
no.
Right.
At this point, he has said Kyle McCord is my guy. So I think we just got to get it in our head that that's where we're going. Get behind McCord. I think the rest of the team's going to get behind McCord, and I feel like we're going to see some positive offense this week
I
and
think
a defensive touchdown.
I think the offense pretty much
Yeah.
gets to score at will, and with the new clock not stopping rules, I don't think that scoring 60 to 70 points is against a team that actually has a pulse. Looking at you, Oklahoma and Oregon, um, is legitimate anymore. I also want to see some more explosive plays on the offense. I don't know if we will or not. If we don't, I still think this offense can drive it down the field. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to dominate the line of scrimmage against Youngstown State. I give them 3 points, and just out of respect to the fact that Jim Tressel coached there. Okay, so 45-3, and I'm praying Tressel dots the I. That's what I'm
Is,
excited for.
is Trust their coach right now, Eric?
No, he's
Is he
not.
is he even the president of the university anymore?
Nobody lives
Then
there.
don't give him the points. Trust is gone.
I love Tress. How about the fact that Tress has a special sweater vest planned for the game?
I love
That'd
I
be
it.
heard.
cool.
I heard he's got
Like
a
a
special.
like a split deal.
I think he's gonna have a sweater vest with both logos on them. Is what I think.
That'd be
It's,
cool.
yeah,
Well, the
I
good
think
I
news
like
is he
that.
can go red either way. So
exactly. Yeah, it's gonna be a red sweater vest. Um, all right, last question. We're going in overtime as always.
what we do.
How, if you're Ryan Day, how do you split the snaps between Kyle McCord and Devin Brown to get the answer you need on how to move forward starting next week? How do you do that, Aaron?
Um, Chris kind of prefaced it a little bit. I think McCord starts the game. We already know that that's going to happen. They said as
Right.
much. But at halftime, I think you let Devin Brown run, come hell or high water. Devin Brown plays the whole second half
And you have to
against
let him
Youngstown.
play.
Right. Yeah. Let him throw the ball. Let him get into situations where he has to make a play and see what he's made of.
I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say. Chris, do you have anything else before I say it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. You go every other.
You can't do that.
I know I
I
know
could go every other quarter, but I couldn't go every other series.
you got to go every other series. I want to see it. Who can do it? It's the
If this,
fair. At this point,
I
it's
would
the
like to
only
see
fair
the
thing to
second
do.
quarter. I'd like to see him have the second quarter just so he gets reps with the actual full first
I
team.
would I would give Devin Brown the start this week myself,
Well,
that's
I
what
would
I
have as
would have
well.
done. I
but
agree with that.
he's not. He already said he's not. So
You all
let me
realize
see every other
we just
series
said
with the
Harbaugh,
same
right?
players, the same offensive line against the same defense. I want to see it. Give me every other. You should be able to beat this team with me running the freaking offense. How hard is it to hand the ball off? I mean, come on, even I can do that. But I want to see these guys throw, Aaron. I want to see who's more accurate. I want to see who can move the team, who can make an explosive play offensively as quarterback. Every other. That's what until then, how can you say that this was a fair quarterback competition?
It wasn't.
It
Because he
wasn't.
said it himself. Either Ryan Day's a liar
Well,
when
he
he
kind of.
said when he said it was neck to neck and so close, and he's gonna give Kyle McCord the start, but Devin Brown's
Coaches are
earned playing time.
politicians at this point, Eric. Coaches are politicians. They're going to tell
I
you
know that.
and everybody else what they need to hear to
Here's
make
the
Listen,
them
dirt.
happy.
Here's the dirty secret. He's scared to death one of them's gonna jump in the portal, and then the other one gets hurt, and then what? That's the truth.
I'm telling you, dude. McCord
Well,
wins
we
this
know it.
thing. Devin's leaving.
I think so
Period.
too.
With
You know
Eric
what?
Because
Right
Noland,
now, if I was Devin Brown, I would say if I don't get get at least a half of football in this game, I'm entering.
he's got 4 games. He can play in 4 games,
He's
and
got 4 games, but what I'm saying is, you know enough by the end of this game. If he doesn't have his fair share of snaps in this game, he knows what the score is, so to speak. He knows that he's second best to Kyle McCord, at least in the eyes of Ryan Day.
yeah. Because letting him play the whole game against Western Kentucky the week before Notre Dame, you're putting your team at detriment.
Yes,
Yeah.
you are.
So
Because you've got to get right before you go to South Bend.
that's why I say McCord is the guy. He's
So
going to be the guy
He's
all
going to be the
year unless
guy.
he
We
gets
need to
hurt.
get used to it.
Yeah, because they're not going to disrupt the little bit of rhythm that they do have.
what if Devin Brown gets in the game and he freaking balls, guys? I mean, he just balls out.
Then you
And
do what
Well,
you got to do.
then you,
I
at this point, does he not have to say, we saw it on film, 105,000 Buckeyes just watched it.
I think
And,
that's
and
what he's
here's the other
afraid
thing.
of, Eric.
Watch, you mark my words. If McCord comes out and starts, and they do not look good offensively on, like, say, the first two drives,
Oh, the
there will
Bluebirds are out.
there will be booing and there will be chants for Devin Brown. Mark my words.
And
I
you
was
know
gonna.
what? You will never see it, though. That's the thing. Ryan Day doesn't want us to see Devin Brown throw the ball. He doesn't want us to know. He doesn't want a legitimate quarterback controversy.
I don't know if that's true, Chris. Come on, man.
I truly believe that.
I was gonna say, Eric. I think if there was ever a game to do what you proposed, where it's
It's
every
this
other
one.
series,
It's
it
this
is
one.
this game.
It's this
So
one.
I think that that's plausible. I don't think that that's what's going to happen, but it's possible. You know,
I don't think it's going to happen either. I think Kyle McCord is going to play the majority of the beginning of the game, and eventually they're going. The media, God bless them, at least they're doing this right. They are going to force Ryan Day to finally say who his starter is.
well, I was going to say too. You know, you said either Ryan Day's a liar, which I mean he's got a track record of lying about injury status, which I kind of understand and appreciate because he's trying to
Sure,
protect their information and
right.
some stuff about the team, but you know, he knew the whole time that the center that we had, he
Harry
wasn't going to
Miller.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Harry
he
Miller.
wasn't going to play
But
ever
he
again.
he was not he I mean gosh, dude, he was Harry Miller was going to take his life, man. You don't
I
come out and
know.
tell
I'm not
everybody that.
right. I would, you know, he should have said, well, I don't know what's going on. You know, just, hey, he's dealing with some stuff. He's got
Yep.
some very personal things going on, and we're going to respect that.
And Harry might have said, I don't want you to say anything.
And that's fair too. You know, we don't
And
know the backstory there. You're 100% right. Yeah, you're 100% right. But that's not the only example. You
no,
know what I
it's
mean?
not.
No.
There's
It's
plenty of
not.
others. Maybe that
Absolutely.
was in poor taste of me. So again, I
But
apologize.
but
But
no, you're right, Aaron. There was a lot
But
more
you
than
look,
just
there was
Harry
even a
Miller who
lot
was
of,
injured.
but there was a lot of this same type of controversy around Travion Henderson last year
and
Yeah.
JSN,
and JSN,
And Mine Williams.
yeah,
Mayan
and
Williams.
Ryan Williams, yeah,
Travion actually called him out at one point on it.
he did. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
he
Well,
called them out without calling them out.
well, this past summer, he basically admitted he was hurt. He's like, I'm hurt. I was hurt. I was hurt all year. Hurt since game number, was it three? Two
Yeah.
or three? Yeah. So, all right, guys, please like, share, subscribe. Hope you enjoyed what you're listening to. We go live every Sunday night, 8 o'clock Eastern. You can call in. Last week we had our first call-in show. We've got this we're giving away. It's a McDonald's large koozie that we're giving away this Sunday. McDonald's sent it to me. $6 at McDonald's. If you don't win this one this weekend for free, go to your local Central Ohio McDonald's and buy this for $6, and the proceeds go to the Ronald McDonald House of Central Ohio. Very great cause. So appreciative of that. All right, guys, enjoy the game. If you're lucky enough to go to the shoe, enjoy it. Crossing our fingers, Tressel gets to dot the I. Haven't heard anything as of this recording on Tuesday night when we recorded that. But looking forward to seeing a Buckeye victory. Don't forget, put your prediction of the score in the comment section below on this YouTube or Rumble video, and you will be automatically entered for your chance to win a OHIO podcast t-shirt to the first person who rightly predicts the correct score. All right, guys, be kind to one another. I owe someone's OH in St. Carmen, Ohio with all your heart. Till next time, OH!
IO.
I